папа, это мама. Они с ногами. С ногами. И они похожи.
Почему не руками, а руками? Да, похоже. А это кто?
Это у них зима и помпа в этом шарфе. Все сидят и плавают. Мама и папа говорят, ну сядь. Их сейчас.
Обняла.
Не, просто так вот. Посадила я до собой. А он и папа это обнял.
Семья большая. А вон тот пухлый, что отдельно лежит.
Он?
Может, это дедушка?
Нет, это просто...
Бабушка?
Нет, это просто их...
Тетя?
Старый...
Сосед?
Не. Старенький муж.
Понятно. И что он?
Hello and welcome to the 74th episode of Strawberry Patches podcast. My name is Marina and I'm coming to you from the beautiful, sunny Auckland here down under in New Zealand. And I'm so happy to be back. It's been quite a while and I want to welcome all of you who are returning. Welcome back. It's been a long time, so I have lots to share with you. And if you're new, a big welcome to you too. A very quick introduction, just if in case you are new and you don't know who I am. I'm a Russian girl, well, woman now, living here with my family, my husband and my two little daughters. One of them just turned 5 months recently and she's just behind the camera. She's the cameraman today. And I'm crafting, knitting, spinning, yarn dyeing and crocheting here in New Zealand, and I love to share everything with you. So I'm very thankful to everyone who popped in today, and if you leave a comment down below, I'll be so happy to read them, because that would mean that I'm not alone with my camera here, that there's actually a connection. So don't be shy, drop me a line. Okay, today I have, as you can see, so much to share with you guys. And it's been since middle of February, quite a while, 3 months, I think, yeah. And I have some life updates at the end of this video, because if you're here just for the knitting, I give you that option. You can watch just the beginning and then skip the life updates part and all my thoughts. And I think today little Miss Lily will make an appearance, because as you might have seen in the previous episodes when I was filming my sweaters video, she was at the background and I had to show her to you guys in a while, because she might not be that happy for 1 hour or however it takes to film. Okay. Yes, Baba. So if you like babies, that's what's coming, and lots of gnome knitting, colorwork, toy knitting, sock knitting, lots of whips and finished objects. Let's start. First of all, before we start, Lily, it's okay. Okay, I'll have to take her. So yes, Miss Lily is my co-host today. She has just turned 5 months, although she is wearing clothes for 9 months already, or 1 year. She's quite a happy, chubby little baby, and she's learning to crawl, so that's why she's being very unhappy when she can't do it. So, Miss Lily is the reason that I was so busy lately. Here in New Zealand, we have to, by 5 months, they have to have 3 not 3, but 3 different times of their lives vaccinations. So we did that. That was quite stressful for me and for Baba, but we did it. Also, she had some eczema that we had to deal with. Oh, but you're not here for that, right? Okay, so we're going to talk today about lots of happy colors. As you can see, I have dyed quite a few skeins that will be on sale. Also, some of it is going to be in a project that I'm making. I'm also taking part in the Year of Gnomes by Sarah Shira, the Imagined Landscapes knit along. And every month I'm making a gnome. So I showed you my January one. And here you have the February, March, and April. And it's the middle of May, and I haven't made one because I'm waiting for the mystery gnome that she's releasing this month. So, okay. So Miss Lily thinks that first we should show you the socks. If you remember last year, I was so lucky. And I won a skein from wonderful Alexandra from the Fiberbound podcast. It was the Melbourne City Dye Works yarn. And yes, we're going to show this. And I've knitted these socks. And this is a pattern. I used the pattern by Jorge Locatelli, the caramel sauce socks, except for the cabling. I didn't want to have the cables. I just wanted to showcase this beautiful yarn and use up her toe and the heel construction. So, I don't know if you can see. Yes, Lily, we're showing the socks. I have 2 and I have worn them quite a lot. Here's the second one, just to prove that I have it. Look at my beautiful sock blockers. And I have to say, Alexandra, this is some gorgeous yarn. I'm a yarn dyer, so I have worked with quite a few yarns from here, New Zealand and UK and some others, and I have to say these are the softest socks I have. That's why they've had a lot of wear and they have peeled a tiny little bit, but I don't mind at all, and I hope you don't mind. Since we're on the topic of socks, I have also finished my hand-dyed yarn, also socks. I call them my Christmas socks, and I think the colorways called the Kiss Under the Mistletoe or Pohutukawa flower. No, the Pohutukawa flower is all red. So this is the Kiss Under the Mistletoe colorway, and the skein was beautiful red with just one part of the skein being white with green speckles. Very Christmassy, as you can see. And here I did the same pattern, and I also have 2. Since it wasn't very Christmassy, you can touch it, baby, if you want. She, of course, loves touching everything and throwing everything. My baby. So yes, I have made finally finished these socks. And I have one more sock that I'm making, but I will talk about it later. Now, I think we had enough of you, but probably she will be back soon. But I need to put it down to show you what I'm wearing, right? I'm wearing today the beautiful top, which is the Lotus top by Natalia Pelich, if I'm not mistaken. I will write the designer name down. And I have finished it, unfortunately, when the summer almost ended. And what's more, I have lost some weight. So the concern for me was that I started it just after I gave birth. So I was much bigger. And, well, not that much bigger, but I'm going to lose more weight, hopefully. So I cast on for size large, and it was fitting me quite well. And now that I put it on today, it's been quite cold lately, so I haven't really worn it. And I already see how loose it is on me. Unless I'm having a third baby, I don't think I'm going to be wearing this much, because it was just perfect the way it fit me when I finished. Just that amount of positive ease was great. Now it's a bit loose. I'll insert a little video of how it looks on me if my husband would be so kind to film me. But it's a beautiful, beautiful design, very clever, specifically designed for this ombre skein, which is a 250 gram 1000 meter cake by Alize Bella Ombre, I think. I'll put the details down also in the description, or you can find me on Ravelry as MarinaToys and on Instagram as Strawberry Patches or Marina Hoja. And over there you can find the information about this top if you're interested more about the yarn and the design. So it's a top-down construction, and first it's a very easy chart. It's a beautiful yoke, and before you divide for the sleeves, because it's a gradient, so that the sleeves, I needed a little bit of sleeves, but she asks you to break the yarn, then do the sleeves, and then continue, so the whole gradient visually comes from light to dark. And there's lots of clever shaping, and this clever detail, you know why I love it? Because there are lots, it's not just eyelets, there are clever ways of okay, I'll so these eyelets on the side are very clever design feature, because they prevent the fabric from being biased, because it's all knitting in the round, and over that big stretch of stockinette the fabric was bound to bias to one side because of these eyelets on both sides, and some of them are make 2 stitches out of 3 and then knit togethers and yarn overs and everything like that. So it interrupts the, sure, why not, yummy socks. So it makes the fabric look absolutely gorgeous. And here, you want some pens? Oh, you're such a naughty co-host, and a very heavy one. Very heavy baby. Here we go. Have a pen. Have a pen. Pen. That's great. Grab it. No. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lily. There we go. There we go. No, not interested. Okay, what are we gonna give you? Sorry for the interruption. That was bound to happen because, yeah, being a mom of a beautiful, gorgeous little baby. And being a podcaster at the same time. Where was I? Yes, these wonderful Lotus top took me about 1 skein, and I dipped into the second one just to make it a little longer, because her pattern, I actually knitted the same size that the designer is wearing in the pictures, because I liked the length, and it's sort of like a tunic style, and I loved the look of it. But you know what, I probably should make another one in a smaller size. I have a different colored cake that would be perfect, and for that, like a medium size, probably I would need just 1 cake, which is perfect, 250 grams only. Okay, next finished objects. What shall we show them, huh, Lily? I think we're going to show them the February gnome. The February gnome is okay, I will put the name. I'm sorry, baby brain. Also been distracted by this gorgeous baba. I don't remember the name of the pattern, but I knitted this gnome in February, and this is the second one I made using my hand-dyed yarns. This is just some leftovers from this was a top that I ripped out. These were some sock. No, this is another baby top. But anyways, it was the perfect project for using up some scraps of wool and making myself this wonderful toy. I made one of these for Lydia, my oldest daughter, who is 3.5 already. Can you imagine? And she loved playing with it because you have so many possibilities to grab it. You can do like this. You can do like this, which she loves doing. And of course, like that as well. So I'm thinking that this, she actually said that one of them is mama, one of them is papa, which is funny. And again, the pattern is by the lovely Sarah Shearer from the Imagined Landscapes. And she's having a knit along. And every month we're making a gnome, which is one of her patterns. Then this was the March gnome, which turned out to be much bigger than I expected. Like, this is the biggest gnome I made, and I modified the hat to make it shorter, and it's still huge. And I think it's because of my either gauge or the yarn that is so stretchy. It just stretched so much, and it's quite huge and fat, but it's fine. I love my gnome collection, and I kind of like the blue beard as well. I think it's quite funny. And this is sort of like sock knitting. Some parts of these gnomes, like the I-cord arms, or like the body with just increases and then rapid decreases, are just like sock, very easy, meditative, and I get to use my hand-dyed yarn, which I love to see how it knits up. Well, and to finish off my February, March, April gnome. I think this is by far my favorite one. Oh, I can't remember the name of the pattern again, but this one was her latest knit along, mystery knit along, I think. And I'm in love with this. I love the clever little pocket and the little button that I found for it, the little tassel on top of the hat. This beard is a different one, not as unorderly like that one. But the best is, of course, the backpack, which actually should be hosting a little baby gnome, which I will be making in June, I think. This month I'm planning to take part in her mystery knit along, which I think the clues will come out sometime very soon in May. And I will, I will make that mystery gnome this month, and in June I will make the baby gnome that goes to here, and it's the reverse colors of this gnome. So this one will be carrying a baba at the back. I can't decide if it's a mama gnome or a daddy gnome, but either way, it has a baby. Oh, and it was a very new technique for me to make this Estonian braid at the back of the backpack, and on the whole I had lots of fun. I like how she striped the body, and how this ribbing actually works for making the fabric more stretchy. And a beautiful pattern, totally recommend it. Probably my favorite gnome I've done. How many so far? There are 3 over there and 3 here, 6 gnomes so far, and this is my favorite one. Since we're on the topic of toys, last Easter I knitted a bunny for my daughter Lydia, and I have an episode of her when I talk about, I think it was April 2021, so if you want to check it out, I have a little clip of my daughter looking for Easter treats and this bunny. So this pattern is Bunny Odile, and last year I knitted the bunny and the dress for her, and this year I didn't have the time or energy to do the bunny. I just knitted the pajamas for her, and I think they're so adorable, so easy to knit because it's all garter stitch and it's knitted in flat, except for here on this area, you knit it around a little bit, and then you do the legs. Super easy pattern and super cute because there is a hole for the tail, and I thankfully had these buttons in my stash, which are perfectly small and colorful, which I think are just perfect for this whimsical little knit. I love this bunny, but as my sister, whom I love dearly, asked me if I could make one her, I said, no way, I'm not making one like that again. It was very fiddly. It started with a nose, and yeah, it's just too much work and too much stress. There's just too many. It's a clever, very clever design with like cuff shaping and the arms. It's not just like tubes. You can see the legs are actually looking like, I mean, feet. But I'm not making one, no way. Okay, moving on to the next finished object, which I wanted to challenge myself and make some color work. So I decided that this cowl, this is a child version cowl that I knitted for Lydia, will be a perfect knit for that. I used up some black merino commercial yarn from Skeins and my hand-dyed leftovers. So these colorful ones are all my hand-dyed leftovers or like trial skeins or something. And then these hearts were my color work attempt. And this is where I practiced my floats. I'm not very, I mean, I can't say that I'm super happy with them, but for the first, oh, maybe you should lie down. Just a second. Oh, that's easier. So I practiced my knitting in the round color work here, and I really enjoyed knitting on this project because, and I wove in the ends as I was going. So the weave-in Stephen method that I learned from one of his shawls. And basically when you, before you knit a stitch, you just wrap your end around it and then you continue knitting. Very clever. So my daughter tried it on and it's not that cold yet, but I think she loved it. She loves the black and she loved all the colors, and I'm very tempted to make one for myself, although I don't think I would, well, of course it's too small for me, but yeah, something like this. The adult version is in the same instructions, so I could make one which is just cast on a bit more and make it a bit longer. Okay, now the next, oh, I didn't say the cowl was the Like Candy pattern by Stephanie Lotfen, and it's just a very clever design, and she also has matching mittens design for this, which I'm very tempted to make as well. Also, I am so happy to become an aunt. My baby sister is pregnant and she's having a daughter, and I'm so happy that I started knitting right away. I finished this in no time because I love this pattern. This is the Anchor's Jacket by Petit Knit, and I knitted 2 for my older daughter, and this is the 3rd one that I've knitted, and I think this is the size 6 months or something like that, because I mean my baby fits in it already, although she's a big baby. Anyways, so that baby is due in October or end of September. So by the time she's 4 months or so, she will be needing some winter clothes, which I think is perfect. Yeah, turn. Tummy time. Well done. Well done, you can do it. So yes, I knitted this out of some commercial yarn that I had because my sister loved these colors. She loves more pastel colors and not some crazy ones. And yeah, blocked it, tried it on Lily, and she fits just perfectly. I will insert a picture of her wearing it. Actually, I have that one. So this is going to the USA, to my baby sister. Also, I have another garment that I finished, and this is my hand-dyed yarn, the Raindrops colorway. And I don't remember what this colorway was named, but I think I used it in one of the Stephen West shawls. But this is my Maritimo top number 2. I really love this design, so I made a second one, and I'll probably wear it in the next video. So this is a very, just a second. I had to take a little lunch break because Lily wanted to eat, and then my husband wanted to eat, so I ended up feeding everyone. So now finally I can continue, and since I made a pose anyway, I have decided to wear it. To wear my Maritimo. This is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter from Boyland Knitworks, and I love this pattern. First of all, because it uses just 2 skeins of the main color for my size and tiny bits of this contrast color, which, as I said, I used up a leftover from a shawl, and then I had some purple that matched that was darker. So it's a bottom-up construction where you knit the lace panel, which was very, very easy to make, and then you knit in the round, alternated the skeins until there are some increases on the arms, and it creates a very lovely dropped shoulder silhouette, which I love. And then I watched the interview of Caitlin Hunter, I think it was with Fruity Knitting and with Christy Glass, and I realized that this woman is so clever. She has very good background knowledge from sewing and garment design and construction, so no wonder why her patterns are so popular. They fit nicely. So after some increases underarm, there is some neck shaping, obviously, and then some short rows here. I don't know if you can see, but it's a really nice shape here. And this was picked up, and I knitted a little ribbing edging, then I picked up the sleeves and knitted a tiny portion of the sleeve. And as I said, this is the second time I'm making it, and I'm very, very happy with it. I tried to make it longer than the previous one, but still somehow ended up with, I guess, the same length, which is fine. I think once the breastfeeding is over and I have less volume here, which yes, I have what I have. I guess can't be complaining too much. I guess I will have it longer once this is a bit less. So anyways, this is Maritimo top, and I loved it. And this will be my last finished object, I think, finally. I was going to ask you, I love reading your comments, and I just love to know what's on your needles right now. If you would care to share what you are knitting on at the moment or crocheting, if there are any patterns that that you love, that you would recommend and want me to knit. I'm always on the lookout for something new, and I don't know if any of you do it, but sometimes before bed I just go on the Ravelry Hot Right Now or debut patterns and just look for something new. And even though I have so many things cast on and in the queue, I just sometimes see something, I'm like, oh my god, I have to make it. So yeah, I would love to hear your recommendations and what you're working on. Now on to whips, the things that I haven't finished yet and I have started. First of all, I want to show you my very special project. This yarn was gifted to me by lovely Doug from the Zia Wool's podcast, Zia Wool's Showbuzz podcast, and I ordered some fiber from her, and she was so kind. She threw in a skein as well, which was caked, and it's the Beekeeper's Christmas, I think it's called. And I haven't done much with second sock because I have started other things, but the first sock is done, and this was perfect pattern for when I was busy and I didn't have much brain space for anything else, which I don't know why it happened sometimes. And this is how it knits up. These are some very, very bright, happy colors. And every time I take it, I remember Doug and her lovely videos and all of the bright colors that she's dyeing. She is a dyer in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, and she loves color and designing her own patterns and dyeing yarn and sharing all of this with us, which I'm sure if you go check her out, you would definitely love and subscribe. So yeah, Doug, thank you very much for this lovely yarn again, and I really look forward to your video about all of the knitted sweaters that you've made, because I know you've made quite a lot and I would love to see like all of them again. Okay, this is my half finished object. Another one that I have on the needles is, so I a while ago a customer wrote to me and asked me if I carry any 5-ply sport weight yarn, and I didn't at the moment, and I thought, oh well, it's very hard to find it in New Zealand, so I should be the one that would carry it. So I ordered some 5-ply and it arrived, and then I gave birth and this and that happened, and then finally about a month ago or so I slowly, one skein per day, dyed up some gorgeous colors, which are here. And then I cast on this stripes sweater, which is a pattern by Andre Maury. You know I'm a big Andre Maury fan. And voila, I decided that would be a lovely project to showcase my hand-dyed yarn. So I started on the 1st of May and I tried to make 3 stripes per day, but then life happened and I couldn't keep up with that challenge. But I'm very close to binding off, and then the sleeves are just going to be so much faster because it's stripes and it's very, very fun. I'm planning to finish it by Woolfest and wear it there, so if you come to Woolfest here in Auckland and you see some stripy lady with a stroller and a baby, that's me. Come say hi, and I would love to meet you. And I have some gorgeous, gorgeous colors that I have decided to make as a regular colorway. So I love speckled yarn, as you know, like you can tell, but I wanted to dye more solid colors as well. Of course, solid, I mean, this is hand-dyed yarn, so it's not really solid. As you can see, there is some variation here, and in the darker ones it's more obvious, but I'm very, very happy with how this dark damson plum dyed up this time. This is the Forget Me Not colorway and lilac, and I'll make up the names for them later because some of them are, I tried them first in this sweater, so I haven't really dyed up any skeins for sale yet. So yeah, I probably will be wearing it in the next episode or during the Woolfest. This is, as I said, 5-ply yarn, so that's that. The next thing I'm making is, I have been wanting to cast this on forever, and I've had the yarn forever. I dyed up this green at the beginning of my yarn dyeing journey, which unbelievably very soon it will be 2 years that I've been doing it. And this is this lovely apple green, and I wanted to make a floozy out of it, but I changed my mind and I'm making a timely cardigan, which is a pattern by Libby Johnson, our New Zealand designer, and I'm combining it with my chameleon colorway and this green that I have dyed for myself, which doesn't have any name, but the same colorway is called green apple. If you love it, I think there are still some in the shop. So I've cast on this timely cardigan, and I think for our climate, which New Zealand is not a very cold city, I mean we don't even have snow here, I think the 4-ply cardigan is just perfect. So as you can see here, I am almost ready to split for the sleeves, but I stopped and I needed to check how many stitches are where because I have the markers for the back. And anyways, I think I made a boo-boo somewhere, but I have to figure out where before I continue. So that's another thing I was going to wear this for the Wool Fest, but then the stripes happened, so that will be that. And the final work in progress is very boring probably, but I think it's still worth showing. So my husband, as you know, is in programming, so he spends a lot of time in his office, and his chair has lost its looks. How can I say this? Anyways, he needed a chair cover and he asked me to knit something for him. And at first I thought, yes, I will make it in cotton, and I have some cotton yarn, and I will crochet it because it will be more sturdy, because obviously it is not a sweater, it will get some more friction. And then I started and I understood that with crochet hook I'm so much slower, so I ripped it out. And then I grabbed bigger needles, which these guys are 5mm, which I never really use, ever. And I did double strand. As you can see, this is one ball finish, that's why it's like that. And yeah, my chair cover coming. Once it's all over, I will show the finished project to you, but if you are a knitter, you know that you only probably knit in black for someone you really love. And I told this to my husband, I said, I don't really like knitting on it because it's black. He's like, I never asked you to make it in black. But his chair is black and I figured that it should be in black. Oh well. Okay, just a sec. Oh, it was just getting very hot in the Maritimo top. So who knows, maybe I won't wear this thing anymore, so might as well wear it now. Okay, so my works in progress are finished. Now on to acquisitions. So if you are in New Zealand, you probably know for sure these online shop skeins that I have talked about a lot, and other podcasters from here have talked a lot about. By the way, I love watching a Tea in the Yarn podcast with Jill and Kylie, and they're two lovely ladies that share lots of brilliant projects that they've spun, knitted and crocheted and embroidered. And if you want to check out some more Kiwi podcasters, then definitely check them out. So as I was saying, Skeins is an online shop that everybody loves, and they had an epic sale, and of course I couldn't resist. So I decided to treat myself to some Pulse Merino DK, and I ordered myself 8 balls, no, I think 10. Yes, 10 balls, 5 each, and it's sort of like what's it called, spin cycle yarns, because it's a variation in color. Like as you can see, inside it's darker, so it would be perfect for knits like Shifty Cowl or the Shifty Sweater or some other projects that require gradient. And I don't have anything like it in 8-ply, so I have 5 bowls of this pulse laser colorway and 5 of the, sorry, this is laser and laser. Yeah, that's how different they are. The variation from bowl to bowl differs. And this colorway is a bit darker, but also in blue it's flow. And please excuse the crinkling. This is the laser. And this is the flow. As you can see, the flow has a bit more green in it, but very lovely. I have no idea yet what I'm going to knit with it, but I just thought I'd show you, and definitely the Skeins shop is one of my favorites to order from. I think I'm done with all the knitting and acquisitions. Now I wanted to give some shout outs to some friends of mine, and the first one would be Anna from the Dunkelgrün podcast. Oh my god, it's been forever since she podcasted. I think in the beginning of my podcasting journey I've discovered her, and she's the one who encouraged me to make my own videos. And then she had like a 3-year break, and finally she's back, and she's back with wow projects. Like, she's done this miniature fairy houses and some paintings, and it's just brilliant and really worth checking out. So yeah, that would be my recommendation for you today. Also, I really enjoyed I think she's from Scotland, a Scottish podcaster, Emmy Palko, from the Meaningful Stitch podcast, and especially her video of, she had 2 videos of the shawl, all the shawls that she has knitted. I really found it inspirational to watch videos or episodes that people have made of the projects, just for example dedicated just all the shawls or all the garments or all the accessories, whatever they've made. In this way you get like a lot of patterns and some ideas about how they're constructed and how they wear, and maybe some thoughts on what modifications they should have done. So Ame Palko did quite a few shawls, and if you love shawls, maybe this podcast is worth checking out. And I found it quite inspirational. And before I jump into my live update, I wanted to give you a quick not tour, but to show you quickly what's in my shop, what will be in my shop very soon. This is the DK, New Zealand DK, that I have dyed recently. I love this color, which is a combination of 2 dyes. And this is my Damson Plum, which is a very hard color to dye, so you can probably see the variation in each skein is different. Like, this is on the 8 ply, this is how it is on the 5 ply, and of course it depends on the dye lot as well. And I have these 2 are already in the shop. My husband has updated my website, and now I have not only 4 and 8 ply, I have 5 ply as well. So this is the Good Morning Sunshine colorway, which is super happy, and this is the Forget Me Not, and I think they look beautiful together, don't you think? And if you don't live under the rock, you probably kind of guess what this color combination means. Anyways, to me it brings me to this subject why I didn't feel like podcasting recently. So obviously these are the colors of the Ukrainian flag, and I don't know if you know, but my father is from Ukraine, my husband is from Ukraine. All my life I felt like I was half Ukrainian, half Russian, and in the events of this crazy world I feel torn apart between these 2 identities that I have. When I was growing up, my father would sing me Ukrainian lullaby, and when like our family with other families would gather, the grown-ups would, you know, get drunk and sing all those Russian Ukrainian songs, and we were one big family. Never in a million years I would have thought that a horrible thing like war would break these two brotherly nations apart and would make them hate each other. So I felt I was in shock when in February the war started. And of course I'm in contact with my father. Thankfully he and his family are fine, and my half-sister, they moved from Kherson to Lvov recently. My mother-in-law, she was in Ukraine too. She went away. My sister-in-law, she had to fled. Anyway, she left Kiev. My brother-in-law is still in Kiev, and every day we talk to them, and we see what horrible things are going on there. And it breaks my heart to see all of this happening. And for me, what's worse is that my mom is in Russia, and every time I try to talk to her about all of the events and ask what her opinion on it is, I am just completely stunned at how incredible the mass media has brainwashed the Russian people's minds. And they really genuinely, I mean, my mom, she's not a people hater. She loves Ukrainians, and still she tells me that she believes that this whole operation is a mission to free Ukraine from the Ukrainian extremists. And every time I tell her, like, look, do you really think that all this news are fabricated just so that I mean, it just blows my mind to realize that Russian people don't understand all the horrible things that are happening in Ukraine, and they do not realize that they are going to pay dearly for it. Anyways, I don't really want to talk too much about it because, I don't know, probably you're not here for that, but I just wanted to say how deeply saddened I am by all of these events, and I am with the Ukrainian people in hope for peace over their land, a beautiful land. And I hope Mr. Putin decides that it's enough and ends this cruelty. So my heart aches for everyone who has suffered from it, and I think we will be paying for these events for a long time. So yeah, I have been really not in the mood to film anything, and for months I was just feeling like I don't have the right to be happy, to live the normal life that we have here, that luckily we are not there, even though we are from there. And I don't know what happened, but I feel like there is not much I can do, and my family is what's important for me, and my kids need to see me happy. And that's why I kind of try to be as happy as I can. Another thing that stopped me from recording sooner was that my daughter brought COVID from kindy, so she got sick. She was pretty poorly for 2 days, and then we all got it, and I was bedridden for 5 days, and it was horrible. Really not a mild cold, and even though we were fully vaccinated, it really was pretty tough. Like, for a whole week all of us were not our normal selves, and I'm so grateful to my husband for taking care of me and the kids when I was sick. But thankfully that's all behind us, and life is sort of back to normal, although we all still have the cough. And yeah, at least now I think I'm immune, as our family is immune and for this disease, and hopefully I cannot, as far as I understand, I cannot pass it on to anyone, so that's great to know. And that was another thing that stopped me. And of course, having a little baby, as you see, she demands a lot of attention, especially now that she discovered her voice and starts the morning with beautiful high-pitched baby cries, especially 5 in the morning. That's really, freshens you up. So that has been fun. I love her to bits. She's the most cutest, adorable baby ever, and they're really close with my older daughter, and I'm so happy that they're sisters, and I know that in the future they're gonna have so much fun and such a big sisterly bond. It's gonna be amazing. But at the moment it's taking a lot of my attention because of course Lydia doesn't fully understand how to play, what is rough play, what is not so rough play, so I have to be around with them so that they don't, Lydia doesn't hurt Lily. Yeah, this is what's been going on. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is that I think in the previous podcast I said that I will be a trader at Woolfest, but come on, let's be honest, it's not gonna happen. I realized it I think a month ago, because first of all, I don't have the energy or the time to dye up new wool. Like, that's all I've done in 3 months. Like, how many? 10 skeins or so. And secondly, I cannot imagine how I can be a trader with a 5-month-old baby. So yeah, I will be there though as a shopper, and I'm so looking forward to it because last year I was working and I didn't get the chance to chat with everyone and squish everything, all the yummy yarns, and talk to all my friends. So this year I'll be there, and I promised to make a video of this wonderful wool event for you guys and show it to you. So as I said, hopefully you will spot me there wearing my stripy sweater. And do come say hi to me, and if you want something from my shop, I can bring it to you there and show it to you. Just message me if there's something in the shop and you don't want to pay for the shipping or whatever, you want to see how they look, I can bring them to you. So that will be on the 28th or 29th of May, very, very soon. I'm so excited that it's happening, and even Lydia is excited. She told me that, Mommy, I want to come with you and to do all the knitting, and she says, when I grow up I'm gonna learn to knit, right? You're gonna teach me to knit. And I said, of course. I'm just so touched by her desire to want to be like me. And we have this lovely book, the Granny McFlitter, the Champion Knitter, about the granny who loves to knit, and there's this recurring phrase, oh, did she stop knitting? But did she stop knitting? Oh no, she did not. She kept right on knitting, like it or not. So it's like me, and I think she kind of wants to be like me a little bit maybe, and wants to learn to knit as well. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope this video wasn't too long, and I hope you had fun with me, maybe drinking something delicious and working on something fun. Please do comment below about what you have been working on or how you've been doing. I love to hear from you. You can always connect with me through Facebook as well, or Instagram. And I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that the next episode won't be that far from now. And oh yes, it's the 5th year. It's been 5 years that I've been doing this podcast, so it's our 5th anniversary. I think this calls for a sale. I do some sales on the website, so for special occasions, do come and check out the strawberrypatches.nz. There might be some delicious sales there. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.